Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Alej and this is Brief History of Spain. In this series, I will be explaining the whole history of Spain in short videos. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the Middle Ages. The Roman Empire entered in a crisis in the 3rd century AD, and barbaric tribes started to get in. The Goths, a barbaric tribe originally from Scandinavia, entered the Roman territory and divided into two. The Visigoths, Goths of the West, became foederati, which means allied with the empire to fight against other barbaric tribes. In exchange, they were given some lands on the south of Gaul, nowadays France. From there, the Visigoths pacified Spain and kicked out the other barbaric tribes that had arrived there, such as the Vandals, Alans, and Suevi. In the year 506, the Franks kicked the Visigoths out of France. The Visigoths then established a kingdom in Spain with capital in the city of Toledo. Finally, the Western Roman Empire officially fell in the year 476 AD, when the last emperor was deposed. The Visigoths were the ruling elite of Spain, but the majority of the population was Roman. The Visigoth kings were elected by the aristocracy, which led to many murders and civil wars to become kings. Out of the 32 Visigoth kings, only 12 died of natural causes. In one of these civil wars between King Rodrigo and King Agila, the latter called the recently arrived Muslims of the north of Africa to help him defeat Rodrigo and get the throne. The Muslim conquerors crossed the Strait of Gibraltar on the year 711, and not only did they defeat and kill King Rodrigo, but also conquered the whole Spain in approximately 7 years. Spain became part of the Caliphate of Damascus and was called Valiat of Al-Andalus, name given to Spain by the Muslims. Most of the population remained Christian and adopted the Arabic language, being called Mozarabs. Mozarabs had their civil and religious rights limited, as well as no access to positions of power. A small group of Visigoths and locals from the north of Spain rebelled against the invaders led by King Pelayo. Thanks to the protection of the mountains, Pelayo was able to defeat a Muslim warband in the year 722 and create the Christian Kingdom of Asturias. This battle is considered the beginning of the Spanish Reconquista. The Muslims, uninterested in these northern territories, ignored them for some years. A civil war on the Caliphate resulted on the Umayyad dynasty being dethroned by the Abbasid one. All of the Umayyads were killed in a banquet at Abu Futrus, but Prince Abd al-Rahman was able to escape and went to Spain with his followers. There he created the independent Emirate of Córdoba, that became the capital city. The Emperor Charlemagne, interested in protecting his empire and pushing back the Muslims from Europe, conquered the Spanish lands around the Pyrenees Mountains and created some counties ruled by counts. This land was called the Hispanic March, which means the Spanish border. These counts gained progressive independence from France and continued to conquer more lands to the south, creating what it is nowadays Catalonia, Aragon, and Navarra, that became an independent kingdom at the beginning of the 9th century. Charlemagne himself came to Spain to try to conquer the city of Zaragoza in the year 778, but the rear of his army was attacked by locals and destroyed when crossing the Pyrenees in Roncesvalles, and Frankish Count Rolandus died. This is the origin of the epic medieval tale La Chanson de Roland. Simultaneously, the Christians from the Kingdom of Asturias continued reconquering and repopulating new lands to the south and created the Kingdom of Leon, its new capital city. In the year 813, the tomb of Apostle St. James the Great was found by a hermit in a place called Compostela in Galicia. Apostle St. James was proclaimed as patron saint of Spain, and his name was yelled by the Christians before battling against the Muslims. In the year 929, Abd al-Rahman III proclaimed himself Caliph of Córdoba, thus becoming the religious leader of the Spanish Muslims. He claimed he had the right to the title of Caliph because he was a descendant of Prophet Muhammad. During his time, the city of Córdoba became the biggest in Europe with 500,000 of population, and the only one with a working sewerage system. His son Al-Hakem II created a library with over 400,000 books that brought to Spain very important innovations such as the use of paper instead of parchment, the Arabic numbers instead of the Roman ones, advanced mathematics, medicine, astronomy, botany, pharmacology, very refined clothing including the use of silk, new plants such as rice, oranges, lemons and eggplants, the game of chess that was originated in India, and many other things. As a result of this, there are over 4,000 Arabic words in modern Spanish. After the death of Caliph Al-Hakem II, a very ambitious politician called Almanzor became dictator of the Caliphate and stripped the young Caliph Hisham, who was still a child, from his power and locked him in the luxurious palace of Medina Azahara. Almanzor began terrorizing the Christian kingdoms by attacking them every year, forcing them to pay tributes, attack to each other, and give their daughters to become part of the caliph's harem. He issued 56 campaigns against the Christians, never being defeated. Precisely, the name Almanzor means the victorious. After he died, the caliphate had a civil war and was divided into small Muslim kingdoms called taifas. The taifas fought each other and were not strong enough to overcome the Christians. Thus, they started paying taxes to the Christian kingdoms in exchange for protection. In this time lived the most famous Spanish medieval hero, Rodrigo Díaz de Vivar, known as El Cid Campeador. He was from a small noble family of Castilla, and he was a very skillful soldier that was never defeated in battle. After being banished from Castilla by the King of Leon Alfonso VI, he was able to conquer the city of Valencia and maintain it surrounded by Muslim territories until his death in the year 1099. His daughters married important counts and princes, and one of his grandchildren became King of Navarra. The legends about El Cid were told in all of Spain and became the epic tale of El Cantar de Mio Cid. King Alfonso VI of Leon was able to reconquer the city of Toledo, the old capital of the Visigothic kingdom, in the year 1085, which meant that the Reconquista had achieved half of Spain already. The kings of Taifas, scared by this, called the Almoravids from the north of Africa, an integrist religious group with a great empire that landed on Spain and were able to defeat the Christians again and stop the Reconquista. Muslim Spain became then part of Almoravid Empire. Two counties of the Kingdom of Leon became independent and created their own kingdom: the Kingdom of Portugal around the city of Porto and the Kingdom of Castilla around the city of Burgos. Also, a county from the Kingdom of Navarra became the Kingdom of Aragon, that united with the county of Barcelona through the marriage of Petronila of Aragon and Count Ramón Berenguer IV. This is what is known as the Spain of the Five Kingdoms: Portugal, Leon, Castilla, Navarra, and Aragon. Taking inspiration from the military orders of the Holy Land, the Spanish military orders were created during this time with the objective of fighting the Muslims in the borders and continue the Reconquista. The most famous ones being the orders of Calatrava, Alcántara, Santiago, and Montesa. Also, the Way of St. James became the third most popular pilgrimage in the Christendom, after Rome and the Holy Land, and many pilgrims started coming from the whole Europe, bringing economic wealth and also new artistic and cultural trends, such as Romanesque style, in which the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela was built. In Toledo, the Mozarabs and monks began translating all the Muslim knowledge into Latin, allowing it to be spread across Christian Europe. Thanks to this, the works of philosopher Aristotle, mathematician Al-Khwarizmi, or Avicenna's medicine reached Europe's universities. The Christian kingdoms of Spain started rivaling and fighting each other, allowing for the Muslims to take back some territories. The Pope, alarmed, called for a great crusade that brought many European crusaders to Spain and united three of those kings: King Alfonso VIII of Castilla, Pedro II of Aragon, and Sancho VII of Navarra, that were able to defeat the Muslim Caliph Muhammad al-Nasir in the greatest battle of the Reconquista in Navas de Tolosa in the year 1212. This victory opened the south of Spain for the Christian kings to reconquer. In Portugal, the Algarve was reconquered, arriving to the far south of their kingdom. In Aragon, King Jaime I conquered the Kingdom of Valencia and the Balearic Islands. In Castilla, King Fernando III became King of Castilla because of his mother and King of Leon because of his father, permanently uniting these two kingdoms. He reconquered most of Andalusia, including its two most important cities, Córdoba and Sevilla, leaving only a small Muslim kingdom in Spain, the Kingdom of Granada, that paid taxes to the Kingdom of Castilla and survived for another 2 centuries. King Fernando's son Alfonso X was known as the Wise because of his interest in knowledge. He himself wrote books about several topics such as astronomy, history, falconry, chess, and poetry. He supported and encouraged shipbreeding in Castilla, that began selling its wool from merino sheep to northern Europe. The Crown of Aragon started expanding towards the Mediterranean, conquering the islands of Sicily and Sardinia as well as the Kingdom of Naples. Its ruthless warriors, called Almogavars, became mercenaries for the Byzantine Empire and ended up conquering some parts of Greece that became part of the Crown of Aragon. Cities like Valencia and Barcelona became very rich thanks to the Mediterranean trade. During the 14th century, the whole of Europe was in crisis, including Spain. The Black Death arrived at Spain in the year 1348 and killed more than a third of the population, including King of Castilla Alfonso XI. Also, the Catholic Church faced an internal schism with three popes simultaneously claiming to be the legitimate one, including one Spanish pope, Pedro de Luna from Aragon, that adopted the name of Benedict XIII, and refused to resign even after the schism was over, and locked himself in the castle of Peñíscola in Valencia until his death. The bastard dynasty of Trastámara arrived into the throne of Castilla after a civil war. Later, this same dynasty arrived to the throne of Aragon, thus making the two biggest kingdoms of Spain ruled by the same family. And this is it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. I will be uploading a video every week, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye!